I had before we get into it again, I was just thinking about Mr. Sinister and the Nasty Boys, and it's like they're a mix of like all the Commonwealth countries like Jamaica, England, Australia. And I just picture like Jack Kirby just working on them, drawing them up, and like Stanley walking in. It's like 1962. He's dressed in like full like black suit, checkerboard belt, little black hat, black sunglasses, right? And he's like, "Oh, that looks great. I've been listening to ska music." And they're like, "Okay, well, what do you want to call these guys?" And he's like, "Let's call them the Nasty Boys."
I was wondering where you were going with
You
that, but
know, like
Stanley,
you'd think he would call them the Rude Boys. His Rude Boys was right there. You know what I mean? But he calls them the Nasty Boys.
huh?
Come on, man. You're in full ska gear, man. Like, that's why it's funny. Anyway,
Ska gear? Who's wearing ska gear?
Apparently, Stanley.
Stan Lee in that scenario. Full on ska outfit,
Okay.
Gotcha.
pants, white socks, checkerboard belt, black hat, black sunglasses.
Just figure like Stan Lee was a big Mustard Plugs fan, just like skanking away.
Yeah. But he didn't think of rude boys. He thought of nasty boys. Like you'd think, like with all of that in his mind, he'd be like, the rude boys. Doesn't that make sense? Nope. The
Nope.
nasty boys.
I think I feel like somebody would feel right now if Stanley was making that pitch to them. So yes, I,
I feel like someone struck me on the head with a mallet.
That's what I was going for.
this week on the show, we're going to on the big 25th episode, we're going to do the entire final multi-part episode of the X-Men 92 run. Beyond Good and Evil, which is kind of the culmination of all of the plot threads that they've been building over the course of the show, even more so than the Phoenix Saga, which is introducing new stuff.
Even even watching the recap before the first one, I was like, oh, I am excited. Like, I am ready for all of this to converge. I am good. I am ready. Apocalypse is.
Yeah, Apocalypse rules. In doing research for this episode, I found out that Apocalypse is voiced by a guy named John Colicos, who was the first Klingon on Star Trek. So that's
yeah.
And
not only
He
is
also invented Coleco's vision.
Cheers. Not only that, he came back to play his character Core on Deep Space Nine and is actually a famous meme because there's a moment in one of the episodes where he comes back where he greets Jadzia Dax, who is like this worm alien that used to be in the body of a man, and he says, "Oh, my old friend Curzon, good to see you." And she says, "I'm Jadzia now," and he says, "Oh, my old friend Jadzia, good to see you," which is like heralded
like,
as like
hey,
one of the
yeah.
ultimate examples of how to recognize your trans colleague and the transition. It's just like nothing has changed but their name, and they're still your friend.
To the point where my friend Courtney, when she transitioned, she chose Jadzia as her middle name.
Nice.
So overall, Apocalypse has been very good for the world.
Yep. Especially those four guys he travels around with. Those are nice horsemen.
Mhm.
Fun people
Gallant.
bring only happiness.
We love a horseman.
We love a horseman. Yeah, we got hungry. We got mad.
We love war.
We love war. We love, of course, dead.
I've heard there's a fifth horseman. We're looking into it very strongly.
Very strongly there. I believe there is a fifth horseman.
I know nothing about teleportation, but I'm going to look into it.
I think he's in the ballroom.
We need the ballroom.
We need the ballroom to protect from apocalypse.
We need the ballroom to protect from teleportation. It's teleportation proof, drone proof.
Oh yeah.
Every time I get a new pair of pants, I keep telling them I need a ballroom. Need ballroom.
And this was the 30 seconds a day that we take to make fun of America's president.
Because it's you have to, because he's
It's tradition.
worse.
Don't worry, if we still had the other guy as a prime minister, I'd be doing him next.
I mean, our current prime minister is more worthy of scorn and scrutiny, but he's just not as funny as Trudeau.
Exactly. Like, unfortunately, I don't have a picture of Mark Carney in blackface that I can pull up as a gotcha.
No,
I do have
Never trust a Connie.
I have a bunch of them from Trudeau.
Yeah, all we have from Carney is just like a history of siding with the banks against humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as funny.
Good luck, environment. We have
Nice
Harper too, but this
world.
time he's friendly to the gay people.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's got a picture with that guy from Heated Rivalry. That means he's an ally.
Mm.
Very sophisticated. Okay, so as we've discussed before, Beyond Good and Evil was originally meant to be the series finale for the whole show. But when they added a fifth season to the order, extended things, they just said, oh, let's just put this out in sweeps shortly after the first couple multi-part episodes from part 4 and just scatter the rest to the wind afterwards. It doesn't matter. And ultimately, I guess the Wolverine arc that we've been dealing with up until this point in the season does kind of stop happening. And really, with part 1, we're kind of like jumping back to season 2. And we're kind of tying up those ends from season 2. And it's great because it makes season 2 actually matter.
Now I'm kind of glad that I accidentally watched season 2 because I get all this now.
Classic.
Fair. That's fair.
One thing that I noticed from this episode is it really reminded me of the Sega Genesis video game Shadowrun. Have we ever talked about Shadowrun on here?
No.
Whoa,
I
core memory unlocked.
I don't know Shadowrun.
Dude,
Please,
Shadowrun is one of the best games I've ever played. It's probably my favorite game besides like Skyrim. And I grew up playing it. It came out about 1995 for the Sega Genesis and Super NES. And the version I had was the Sega Genesis version, but specifically the copy that they were selling from the like Save on Foods or whatever, Overweighty that had the video rentals.
Yeah.
And so mine is just like a photocopied picture of the cartridge slipped into the insert. So that's my copy of Shadowrun. But I played it to death, and as soon as I found the like cheat code, it became just a game that you could just jump into anytime, do anything in, and it's just this big open world. Basically, this dude's like little brother gets killed, and he's like a mercenary. They're called shadow runners, and they do like jobs for guys called Mr. Johnsons that they just meet in like the corner of a bar. And so it's like a cyberpunk futuristic fucking hellscape, and it takes place in like Seattle and the surrounding environs.
Okay, for our younger listeners, I just want to clear up a couple things. A Sega Genesis used to be a video game cartridge or console. Um, Overweighty was a grocery store chain that got bought by Save on Foods, and then everything got more expensive.
Thanks, Jimmy Patterson.
I think that's the only things I needed to explain from that.
Excellent.
Oh, a grocery store is what used to be around.
No. Only Donald Trump's the only person that doesn't know what that is.
It's a banana, Michael. What could it cost?
$10. Here's some money. Go see a Star Wars.
I like how with all the inflation, we're still nowhere near a banana costing $10.
Right? Like it was ludicrous in 2003, and it's still ludicrous today.
Yeah, Arrested Development season 1 to 3 have aged perfectly, and thankfully they never made any further seasons, and it's just a perfect time capsule with only one mistake.
For some reason,
the MRF was a mistake.
Yeah,
we can admit that now.
For some reason, they filmed like an intro to a new season and then never did anything. They brought in Seth Rogen and Kristen Wiig. It was so
about Netflix,
funny,
but nothing ever happened.
So weird.
It's a good thing because, man, if Netflix ever gained steam and became a real power in the industry, that could really affect things.
Imagine if they started buying up entertainment companies.
Oh my god!
Oh,
right? It'd be some kind of dance in the sky, to do something like that, right? So in this game, the main character is trying to find his brother, and culminates in like, spoiler alert, you have to like stop a demon from being resurrected from a cave in like outside of Seattle. And there's like people enchanting stuff and using spells to try to get into this thing. And it mixes like magic and technology. and you can pick kind of your type of character, whether you want to be just like a shooter or a decker, which is somebody that has like a jack in their head and they plug into computers, or you can be like a shaman that uses like magic as well as technology. It's really this is the best game. It's so cool. So Shadowrun, check it out. But this episode reminds me of that
And you
game.
got this from the grocery store.
Yeah, girl.
Okay,
It's the best game. It's amazing.
cool.
Legit.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of Shadowrun, so it's nice to have it be explained by somebody that that understands what's the important part to relate to people, because gamers
Totally.
they're gonna talk about like the
The
specific
mechanics.
they're gonna like omit the first 8 sentences and jump to that 9th sentence, which is the money shot. But nobody laughs. The story of it.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, dude. The mechanics are fine. Like it's just a side, like a top-down scrolling game, and then you go into places and do stuff. And there's a lot of like little menus of like talking heads and like interactive stuff there. You can also go into the Matrix, which is like the computer, and basically fight your way into different like company hard drives and stuff to get their information and like resources. And you have to like battle their like nodes and like black tars and all these things that you use like different like it's a whole other aspect of the game, right? Because there's like the main gameplay and then you jump into that and you got a separate battle
I like
mechanic and
two
if
games
you want to
you
get
can
all granular about it. But yeah, it's really fucking cool.
Cyberpunk, but
Yeah.
like this is an 80s game, right? So this is
95 or so.
I
Yeah.
was gonna
Yeah.
say 95. Like this is actually quite a sophisticated game
Oh,
for
this is some
1995.
people who've been
yeah,
reading William Gibson and like early
exactly.
fascist Frank Miller
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
100% somebody who did a bunch of cocaine and watched Hackers 8 times.
Who didn't?
Yeah, but okay, for anyone playing at home, if you want to play the Sega Genesis version, the cheat code is ABBACAB, ABBCAB, ABBACAB, ABBACAB, and you do it like before you hit start at the beginning menu, and then it just unlocks a special menu where you can get all the money or all the contacts or all the resources, and you just pick a thing, save it, you can reset it, do it again, do as many times as you need, get all the money, all the things, and then you can just play it right through. You can get through it in probably a day. It's the fucking best game, great story, really cool like visuals, like all the characters look really gritty and cool. There's like different types of aliens, like not aliens but like elves and like other creatures like dwarves that kind of like interact. It's almost like Bright but like
I
good.
need to
Yeah,
see Stefan from SNL explaining this game.
Thank you. That's
yeah.
all I could think of. I was
Like
like,
this game has everything. Dwarves, the Matrix,
Right, Mr. Johnson's in the corner.
Murder Little Brothers.
plugging into heads.
Yeah.
Deckers, orcs.
I remember, I think my first episode recording with y'all, Jim went off on a little tangent once, and I was like, oh, it's super cool that sometimes we can just like pull a string and you'll go off for a little bit. And I actually didn't know that both of you could do that. That was very
I
cool.
got a different kind of string, that's for sure.
Ooh.
Okay. So I'm going to steer us right back to the point of the show here. So Beyond Good and Evil Part 1 dropped on November 4th, 1995. It was written by Steve Cuden. I don't know if we've seen that name before. We're in the middle of Fantasy's like 7-week run as the #1 song. And we've talked about this before. Get Shorty was still the #1 movie in its 3rd week. Coming out and making no money was Fair Game, the Billy Baldwin and Cindy Crawford action movie, which I remember renting to watch just for the side boob as a 10-year-old boy.
Keep going. I have too many things to say about that.
Fair. And Home for the Holidays also comes out, a holiday classic that I have not actually managed to see, but it's always been on my bucket list. It's got like crazy era Robert Downey Jr. and then Holly Hunter, who's always lovely.
Oh, they talk about this on How Did This Get Made?
They do.
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts on those movies, man?
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah.
Don't.
Fair. I don't remember anything about Fair Game other than who was in it.
I've seen Get Shorty, and I refuse to go back.
I remember seeing the like poster for it and stuff and be like, oh, okay, it's one of those grown-up movies. That sounds boring.
That
You know?
Yeah, it was a blockbuster title that I remember seeing, and then I remember because when Be Cool came out, I was like, well, I should probably go back and check the source material. Didn't help at all, actually.
I remember watching Be Cool and being unimpressed, and somebody was like, yeah, it's basically like the first movie, but not as good. So I was like, okay, I'm just not going to bother.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
gotta get back to this.
Yeah, yeah. So in the future, Cable is leading the charge to destroy Apocalypse once and for all. But it turns out to be a trap, because Apocalypse is always one step ahead of him. He set this trap to obtain the one power he does not possess himself. Cable's teleportation machine. Doesn't really make sense that Cable would have one and Apocalypse wouldn't, but maybe that will be explained in season 2 of X-Men 97, because they actually could totally explain
Oh
it.
yeah, that very, very,
Right?
very possible.
I'm not good with computer.
Well, Beast did steal his AI that was doing all of his stuff for him, right?
That's what made me laugh so hard. They were like, I am now going to possess the one power I've always missed. And it's this guy's computer. I'm just gonna grab this guy's laptop for a second.
Hey kid, I'm a computer.
Please, I just need to I need to check my Facebook. I need to check
We
my
need
stock.
to check the emails on this server.
But her
Stop all the downloading. Help computer.
emails.
Remember that one?
Yeah. So then Cable just throws out this random someday someone will destroy Apocalypse. And he gets really fucking shook by this. And he's like, oh
shit.
no, fuck you. No, you're
Am
not.
I just Sisyphus pushing a boulder up the hill?
That was
So
fun.
like
He had
so
a
good.
he had a fucking
That's like an
he had a lot of
existential nightmare.
his internal crisis where he's like, yeah, monologuing and
My take on this is he's lived for so long that he's just talking out loud to himself all the time. Because he's gone crazy.
oh yeah,
That's a big part of his deal, is that he has lost his mind and is just so powerful. Because I think that Apocalypse in this is the same as the Apocalypse in the movie, where he's kind of like the first power monster. Like he's moving from body to body, from mutant to mutant, and absorbing their powers as he goes. And he's just never come across one that can time travel, but he has every other power.
which is crazy. Like, how did you never come? Anyways.
Well, I mean, have we ever met a mutant whose power was time travel? No, they don't do that.
They don't.
There is one I remember from the comic books called Shift that could go back in time 10 seconds.
Piece of shift.
And they like found a way to kill her anyway.
So I actually do remember where we were now. We were talking about Apocalypse being like, well, I'm gonna take your laptop and I'm gonna sign on to my Facebook and then I'm gonna time travel.
That is essentially his plan.
That was essentially.
Want to see what Lisa from high school is up to before. Married? Damn it.
Damn it!
That's it. Universe over. Starting over.
But spoilers. Yeah. So anyway, so he gets shook by this and he decides that he's just going to go right back in time to the beginning. So he goes back through time, and along the way, he hits Bishop, and we realize that we realize he's gonna hit Bishop because we get like over a minute of One Man's Worth, like the really sad end part in black and white, where Wolverine and Storm are like, "We're never gonna exist anymore. It's been a good ride." It's like, thanks for. I guess it's like the most emotional moment of the whole show, so you might as well go back to that and mine that again.
I took 2 notes throughout this entire thing, and one of them was, oh, cool, we have to do this again.
Yeah.
And this is underlined, and it's for this part right here. Because, like, most people, yeah, that was a while ago for them. This was like a week ago. I watched this episode like a week and a fucking half ago. It's still.
I mean, it had only been about a month and a half for viewers, too. Like, it was meant to originally, like, One Man's Worth is supposed to be near the beginning of the season. This is supposed to be the end of the season. But they actually wound up coming out about 6 weeks apart with only, like, Proteus and Sanctuary in between. For some reason, Sanctuary was released after Proteus.
Yeah.
And I think that's dumb. I don't think Sanctuary should happen right before this because it kind of, like, leads into it.
Yeah, as much.
Sanctuary is supposed to be way at the beginning of season 4, and you're not supposed to see Magneto for the rest of the season. Like, his appearance in this, like, needs some time and some breathing room. Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Plus, like, the Apocalypse and Deathbird show up at the end of Sanctuary. So if that's the episode right before it, it's like, oh, it's not really hinting at anything. It's just like, boom, this is the next episode. It feels like a continuation. But we're not going to see Fabian show up in this story, right?
Yeah.
He didn't show up in it. Don't worry. That will be followed up on.
Okay.
It will, like, that. There will be a resolution to that teaser. It's just not in Beyond Good and Evil.
I've had so much fun with this psychotic turn, or this psychotic like chain of events that this show is. I'm really excited to get to a show that follows a timeline properly.
Yeah, and X-Men 97 is like very, very controlled writer's room.
Concrete.
One long story, and they're fitting in some other stories along the way.
Uh-huh.
But you know, like episode 1 and episode 10 are the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very much like the first season of this show, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's around here when we okay, the Rainbow Roads.
Yes.
I
So, before we get to the Rainbow Roads, though, we have to see that like the time stream is kind of a physical space in this that Bishop is flying through, and Apocalypse is bigger than him and just flies, and they both kind of get knocked out, and they fall into this area called the Nexus of Time that we really need to define because it's weird.
it's fucking so you know the Nightmare Before Christmas when he stumbles into that forest and there's all the trees with different worlds in them?
Okay.
Basically that,
But
but
in
just different
space.
realities.
Yeah. There's all these
Um,
different roads, and each one's a different color. So I kind of
Picture, if you will, Mario 64, when you're in that opening thing and you have all those like windows that you can jump through.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, it's the
and
Mario
there's
console.
there's horizontal panels. The orderly style show up and give us a glimpse,
Mhm.
which I think is like a more interesting way to depict it than the Marvel movies have,
Yes.
with like energy crackling energy portals around it. I think it's like I guess it feels chaotic, and they're going for the idea of it being chaotic, but I think it would just be more interesting. Like even Doctor Strange shows it as doorways,
Yeah.
and that's like
I like the spin.
comic books are panels. Just go with comic book stuff that works in comic books when you're adapting comic books because that's what people are
That's
tuning in
what
for.
people are tuning in for. Um, there was, oh yeah, so I just know that they were like the whole Nexus of Time, the time stream sort of thing. I know those writers are dorks who grew up watching Doctor Who. Because this is very much a classic Who scenario where the Doctor hits someone that he just happens to find in the middle of a goddamn time stream. No,
It does feel
absolutely
very
not.
Whovian.
Absolutely.
And like I know from watching interviews with the couple that did
Yeah.
the show that they're big fans of Star Trek.
Shocking.
And like if you were a fan of Star Trek in the 60s, guess what the number 2 show probably was for you.
Exactly. Like
Especially when Doctor Who in the 60s was almost on par with it. Like the silliness gap between the modern Doctor Who and other stuff wasn't quite as pronounced back in the 60s.
well, okay, so
Because everything was just that silly in the 60s.
I was just gonna say the modern Doctor Who is silly.
Bart Aliens
Is silly
in 2005.
Is silly in a way that they meant. They meant it to be weird and silly. The 60s, however, a lot of those storylines were presented as very earnest and like groundbreaking things. But now we look back on it, like the first ever episode of Doctor Who, when the TARDIS is flying in for the first time, you see fishing wire. That's the budget that we were dealing with. You can see it's a mini TARDIS and it's swinging around on fishing wire and it lands and then it pans out and William Hartnell walks out in black and white. And I'm like, oh, this was the 60s 60s.
It's the early 60s.
Like,
Doesn't
they-
it start like way
they-
before Beatlemania. et cetera?
Yeah, like they made this.
Hoisted by his own petardus. Before we were at the Taj Mahal, when we were at the Taj Mahal, rather, they explained the story of what happened and why it was the way it was. And so, like, it was meant to be 100% symmetrical, but it wasn't because they ended up burying the king there as well as his, like, queen that had died. And he built it for the queen, right? But he was planning on building the black Taj Mahal across the river from there. But instead of that happening, his evil, like, third son decided to kill his brothers and put his father in prison. And then after his father died, they just buried him in the existing Taj.
In the Rainbow Road Nexus of Time area, he runs into this weird ass janitor.
Yeah, let's call him a janitor.
Yeah. He has a name. I forget the name of the guy.
Vaguely Scottish.
Yeah, he's got a Scottish accent for some reason, which reminded me of Michael Bay's Transformers 2. Like, why is that shit happening? I thought that was really distracting. But we see that the Nexus of Time, as all the roads are leading towards this tiny little world. This tiny little world that is covered in, I guess, like 17th century English looking architecture.
Yeah, I didn't really get it.
It's strange. The whole planet looks to be like 200 feet
Yeah,
wide each way.
very, very short distance.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like maybe Apocalypse has built it to look like this.
Oh, yeah.
That may make sense,
Yeah.
but I feel like it should be a little bit more Egyptian if he did. The alien then starts to show him this specific moment in the X-Men's history, which is the wedding of Scott and Jean in 1995. They tried in 1993, and Mr. Sinister stole them, fake faked the wedding with a fake preacher that wasn't ordained, so it wasn't legit. That was Morph. And then Scott and Jean finally get married for real. Wolverine's there, and of course he threatens Scott because, of course, why would he? Um,
Threateningly cuts a piece of cake.
yeah. Even though the minister's been real this time, they do again get attacked when they leave for their honeymoon by the nasty boys.
Right after Storm is like, good thing nothing happened today. Phew. What a relief.
Ooh.
Storm is a little bit ridiculous in
Damn
many,
it,
many
Storm.
sons. Yeah. The X-Men try to save Jean, but they escape without them. They think that Cyclops is a target as well, but this time he completely isn't. Then Mr. Sinister pops up in the mansion and he takes Charles, which is a good.
Why didn't he want me, X-Men? Why does every man leave?
Oh man.
Okay. So then we go back to 2055, where Shard, Bishop's sister from One Man's Worth, and Forge are trying to figure out what happened to Bishop, but the time machine can't find him because he's in the nexus of time, so he's outside of time, classically like Doctor Who. Um, I'm really glad that Shard is in all of this. I like her as a character.
I was happy to see her back.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be cool if they brought in Bishop and Shard as well to the movies at some point instead of just Bishop as an underdeveloped side character.
Yeah, that was bad.
We have to go. We have to go right now. I shard.
Yeah. Uh, Forge finds a trace of him in upstate New York in the late 20th century because he's about to land at the wedding, so they're getting those tachyons or whatever. I don't know how you measure time because it's not really a thing that is happening. Like it's just our observation of the progression of chemical reactions. Had you never heard that one before?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Minuscules. You know, like minute molecules.
Oh, that is an interesting way to, yeah. Okay. So Forge decides, okay, we got to send Shard back in time this time. And she does show up right in time to thwart Mr. Sinister abducting Charles. So right away, she's helping. That's nice.
Mr. Sinister, always terrifying.
Yeah.
That a crazy looking face.
Yeah. So in the Nexus, Jean Grey wakes up in a glass tube, still wearing her wedding outfit.
Case of emotion.
And she's one of several kidnapped telepaths. And when she asks Mr. Sinister why he's abducted her, Apocalypse pops out of the corner saying, "Because I told him to." So it's the first time we really see him at all here.
His voice.
Even though the before trailer, like if you watch the intro, like the last previous on X-Men,
Yeah.
it's all about Apocalypse.
Uh-huh.
So you know that this is about to happen. But it was written well, so there was a reveal. You know?
Why do you sound like Bane coming out of the corner there?
There. Okay. Apocalypse, the whole intro part of when he came into this episode sounded like Bane from Harley Quinn.
Yeah, well, John Colicos just wanted to really fucking lean into it, you know?
Whoa, Batman!
This probably was done around the time he first started showing up in Deep Space Nine, right? Because that's season 3 of the show, and I think the seasons of this and Deep Space Nine are more or less parallel. Like both starting in 92, 93, that season.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So he's gone through some character development on multiple fronts. Although Apocalypse now I think is even more single-minded and scary than ever. Yeah, how do we feel about this one, gang?
Good intro. I liked it. I liked the Apocalypse reveal, even though yes, the previously on kind of did spoil that.
Yeah.
But you know what?
That's not on the writers though, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was still a great episode. I'm gonna go 8.5.
Yeah, I think it's like a 7. I think it's really good action and good setup of a story. It's not quite. It's kind of like it's doing a lot of work showing us all of the pieces that have been laid in the past to get us here. But like knowing especially where this story is go, I give it a 7. How about you, Ben?
A solid like 6.7. I think like it's a good intro, but it gets so much better from here on out, you know?
There's not really enough that it blows your mind.
I'm gonna reconsider. I'm gonna drop it down to an 8 simply because they
Oh,
made me
because of peer
watch that.
pressure?
No, because they made me watch that clip from One Man Worth. That honestly, that deserves taking a point 5 off. How dare you?
The trauma of it
How
all.
fucking dare
The deep
you?
rooted trauma.
Oh my god.
Okay, so now we're into part 2, which was written by Jan Strnad or Jan Strand. It was spelled Strand this time.
Yeah.
And I can't find, like, I don't know anymore. I'm gonna actually, like, it's both. So now I'm really determined to figure out the answer by interviewing the Luwalds at some point. I'm
Round.
really hoping that by the end of this run we can get an interview with them.
Nice.
Yeah. So this one aired a full week later on November 11th, 1995, which means fantasy was still number one.
Oh
We
yeah.
are number one.
Yeah.
Still number one in my heart.
We are number one.
But we had a new number one movie, and it was Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. Yeah.
Listen, that man popping out of an elephant's asshole is still just like burned into my mind.
Oh, there's some all-time jokes.
Yeah.
Also, the like, oh, they can check for that. They say, oh, she's not a virgin. Like, oh.
That part where he like gets stabbed in the leg with a spear and then
Oh,
stabbed in the other leg with a spear. And he's
Yes.
like, ah, ah,
All of the white devil.
ah.
yeah.
Honestly, that was probably my first introduction to the idea that white people were the devil.
Jim
You know?
Carrey really did master physical comedy in the 90s. He really would put himself through intense physical pain to make us laugh. And thank God.
I'm not sure those arrows really were going there, but he was probably the closest thing we
Well,
had
I'm
to
not even talking
Buster
about
Keaton.
those
Yeah.
errors. It's more of like when you see him hit the ground so many times in various films of his, you're like, oh
He
yeah.
really leaned into the physical comedy stuff, like
Yeah.
Fire Marshal
In Living Color, man. He was flying around on that set.
The Shi'ar throne world is under attack from the forces of Deathbird, who is Leandra's older sister.
Lilandra.
Sorry, the line down there.
I know. That was my fault. Yeah.
Her forces
Yeah, my
reach
dead ass TV.
her forces reach the palace, but Deathbird is defeated by Gladiator, just as she planned. As Apocalypse arrives via a portal to grab Lilandra, the ancient villain then betrays Deathbird too, grabbing Lilandra's psychic oracle and leaving both Lilandra and Deathbird behind.
Yeah, so this is a pretty like dynamic opening scene. Like we see some fucking space war shit, um, big sky-ships, and we're out in outer space, and Apocalypse is fucking huge and just grabbing everyone he wants to. It's a nice twist when he grabs like Oracle, just like this character that previously I think had been unnamed.
Yeah,
She's just kind of cool looking, the pink and blue with black detailing lady who I think has done brain stuff in the Phoenix Saga before this point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That would make sense.
But like it's a great twist. I like that he's just immediately betraying his new ally. And like like we saw them before working together in the other thing, and then here, boom, it's just oh no, you're done. He doesn't give a shit about any of his allies, which is really important.
Very important.
It's actually good storytelling that this happens so early on in it because that telegraphs some stuff that happens later. Like we know why the people working with him already don't trust him. So we delivery Vancouver though, that's tight.
Sponsor the show.
That
Okay.
ain't pretty much too.
Apocalypse. This motherfucker reappears in the Nexus of Time, placing Oracle in another tube next to Jean's and explains to her that after he stole Cable's time machine, he was disrupted mid-transit and crashed in the Axis. Fortunately,
He keeps calling it the asses of time, which I think is
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Okay, I thought I heard that, but I was like, I don't know. He's got a little risk.
This is the asses of time.
Has he been talking to people for a couple centuries? My guess is no.
This brings us back to the talking to himself theory because I think there's about 4 apocalypti.
Apocalyptos?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, apocalypses. Apocalypse. Fortunately, since time has no meaning there or here, he was able to spend centuries studying the strange location and learning its secrets and slowly going fucking insane. This is very important. Gene asks why he even needs the sidekicks, but he's a cryptic ass bitch.
Yeah, he won't explain further. He's just like, I'll only lord up this much this episode. The rest you'll have to wait for part 4 to understand my horrible plan. I kind of feel like if he'd explained the whole plan here, there might have been more stakes to the rest of the show.
Oh ho ho, you sly dog, you've got me monologuing.
But he's too smart to be caught for that, which I guess is good character writing.
I guess, but it doesn't bode well for the rest of the episode.
Maybe they could have really revealed the rest of it in part 3.
So, back in the modern day, the professor's trying to reassure Scott when he gets a psychic flash from Lilandra warning him about Apocalypse's actions. In the war room, the X-Men figure out Apocalypse must be going after psychics, so all they need to do is stake one out and wait to catch them in the act. Storm, of course, objects to using mutants as bait because of her ethics. Once again,
No one listens to Storm.
No one, not a single person.
In part 2, they should actually listen to Storm, unlike in part 1, but still, no one.
In England, a mysterious ninja breaks into Castle Worthington, unaware the lord of the castle is home. Well, I guess Worthington is home. I don't know. Archangel confronts the intruder, who reveals themselves as a mutant called Psylocke. The two fight and Psylocke flees, but her path brings her to the edge of a cliff, which she falls over. Archangel grabs her and is zapped with the focused totality of her psychic might, as she had planned for him to save her.
Time for a lore corner.
Okay.
Yeah. So, for one, really stoked to finally see Psylocke in this. She was kind of like the most popular mutant after Nightcrawler that hadn't been in the show yet at this point. And, like, she does look and act like people know her as, iconically, like the Olivia Munn version of her in Apocalypse, where she doesn't really say much or do much, but she looks perfect.
So cunty. Like, yeah, honestly, absolutely.
Cunty little ninja.
Yeah. You might notice that everyone keeps saying she's got black hair or raven hair, but she is being drawn with purple hair. There's a reason for that. And the reason is racism.
Oh, Christ. I knew it.
So, Psylocke's name is Elizabeth Braddock. And you know her as an Asian lady, don't you? Uh-huh. She even mentions here that she is fighting to raise money for her brother. Her brother is James Braddock, Captain Britain, a white man. So Elizabeth Braddock debuts in the mid-'80s as a British white lady with purple hair. And then, sometime in the mid-late 80s, we are introduced to an Asian assassin lady named Revanche. And she works for the Mandarin. And at some point, Psylocke gets kidnapped and they do a body swap with her. And so the Asian lady Revanche's brain is put in Elizabeth Braddock's white body, and Elizabeth Braddock is put in this conveniently Asian hot body that can be like marketed for the Marvel swimsuit thing as like an inclusive character. Jim Lee is the artist that is drawing all this. An Asian guy is participating in all of this happening. But it's very problematic because what we wind up is everybody comes to know Psylocke as the Asian lady, but she's fucking British. Revanche, who has her original British body, dies of the legacy virus, which we saw in the Time Fugitives two-parter. But actually that lasted like as a 6 or 7 year long AIDS pandemic story. And they actually, in an attempt to correct things, have recently brought Revanche back from the dead, cured her legacy virus, and swapped bodies back. So Revanche is back in the Psylocke body running around as Revanche, and Psylocke is back to being a British lady, which doesn't really drive sales or anything because we all know her as Olivia Munn.
Who is also not Asian, right?
No, Olivia Munn is half Asian.
Is she? No, Kate. This is another... Fuck!
You didn't think Olivia Munn was Asian?
Olivia Wilde!
This has to stay in.
Olivia Wilde! Why did I have Olivia Wilde in my head?
Well, if they do go with a black actor, I hope they go with that Mr. Brian Austin Green. I am so proud of that young man and all of his success.
Why were you imagining Olivia Wilde?
Because
ironically, Olivia Wilde, like who did have purple hair when she showed up on the OC,
yeah,
she should be playing Elizabeth Braddock.
Yeah.
But instead
she was born in Oklahoma City, and
her mother's name is Kimberly Wynn.
German, Irish, and English ancestry on the other side.
Yeah.
What an interesting mix. I wonder how that happened. While he's unconscious, Psylocke helps herself to Warren's stuff. Just take some of this. Coming to, Warren decides to follow her and see what's what. The trail leads to a warehouse in central London where the X-Men are staked out for Psylocke. Wolverine spots her first and goes to investigate. Warren catches up with Psylocke. The two bicker about her theft and his history with Apocalypse, only to be interrupted by the arrival of Sabretooth and Mystique, because everyone's coming here now.
Yeah.
It's the whole fucking gang.
I mean, Wolverine literally says, they're coming out of the woodwork, which was used in the marketing of this whole season. Like, they used lots of clips from this one episode to advertise this season. Like, season 4 of X-Men's coming, and all this is going to happen. And then it was all in this episode. Psylocke coming was a big part of how they brought everyone back every week. Like, when's Psylocke going to show up? And it was here.
What is this, sweeps week, Bob?
Wolverine and Shard join in. As soon as Psylocke gets fed up, she doesn't know who anyone is or why they're there, but she's fucking leaving.
Yeah.
I love that shit. She's just
just like, get the fuck away from me.
I am no longer involved in this. Fuck you guys. I'm going home.
They'll let you know it's all about her.
Yep. Magneto has other ideas. That's his government name.
No,
Magneto.
shut up. Just keep going. Shut up.
He manages to capture Psylocke and incapacitate Logan. He and Mystique depart via portal, leaving Sabretooth behind just as Storm and Gambit finally show up. Magneto, Mystique, and Sabretooth are all working for Apocalypse, who now has another psychic for his collection. Sinister reveals to his master that he managed to abduct another psychic since Storm and Gambit abandoned their quarry to try and save Psylocke.
So yeah, this was a great little action sequence. Like, bam, these iconic villains from their history all pop up and they're all working together.
Yeah.
This is how to do it, I think.
It really was a good one.
Yeah. Then we go to the year 3399.
Tyler makes their own plans. Cable and Tyler make their own plans. The problem is that there are no more time machines. We're coming back to this. Time machines are a finite resource, and there apparently is only one. We need to go find it. They were all destroyed, and Cable wasn't supposed to have his either. He tells Tyler the world's government kept one time machine safely hidden just in case. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. And they're gonna steal it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's like they've lost Psylocke, and now like Apocalypse has almost all the telepaths for some reason.
Yeah.
It's still mysterious, but we have learned some things. I give this episode a 9. This episode is banger. We're in the middle of all the action. Things are going really good.
I'm gonna go 9.1, Bob.
Oh, you're gonna price it right?
Oh, 8.99.
Okay, so we're gonna cruise right along into episode 3, which aired on November 20, 1995, and was written by Michael Edens, one pair of the brothers that wrote most of the big canon episodes.
Bulk of the series.
Yeah, not exactly lightweight. This was Fantasy's final week at number 1. So at the end of this, we'll see what finally eclipsed Fantasy as the number 1 song. Of course, it's by Mariah Carey. This is a big, big weekend at the box office. Probably Thanksgiving weekend in America. GoldenEye opened. The greatest video game pre-adaptation of all time.
Mm-hmm.
There was apparently a movie in there. I'm not aware of it. I am, however, aware that game fucking bangs to this day.
As if Alan Cummings' performance in that movie wasn't life-changing for you. I am invincible.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Listen,
It also gave us Famke Janssen.
it did.
It was like half the X-Men cast.
It did. However, moving right along.
Oh yeah, we also have a couple other interesting debuts. We've got the American President, aka like the West Wing's pilot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then It Takes Two, probably the biggest Olsen twins movie.
That movie gave us a lot of very like iconic actresses, and it also showed us the last time Kirstie Alley was culturally relevant.
Okay. I didn't expect the Lord Up, and I appreciate it.
You will expect a Lord when anything that has
The Olsen twins.
the Olsen twins, you've got it. You got it. All, but
Was it
You can
straight?
see the T-shirt, Jim.
Or did they have another theatrical movie?
they had a couple other theatrical
Okay.
movies. They had like Billboard Dad.
We're gonna get into part 3 here. Why don't you read this one too?
In the Axis of Time, Bishop sees a glimpse of Cable and his son Tyler. In their future, Cable and the Resistance are looking to get the last remaining time machine. They have a robot. The Resistance blow up a nearby power plant, but Tyler is overpowered by the security robots. Cable wants to try and save Tyler, but his son tells him to go and get rid of Apocalypse. However, the immortal mutant is well aware of Cable's efforts and redirects him to the 1990s. Swinging 90s. They fill Cable in on what's been happening, but he does not give a shit about any of it. All he wants is Apocalypse. Elsewhere, Logan's interrogated by the captive Sabretooth.
No, he is he has interrogated.
Logan's interrogated the captive Sabretooth. He has interrogated. I love this dynamic. This is always going to be a funny dynamic for me.
I love how it's what Wolverine's always wanted to do. It's something. It's kind of like visually harking back to the first season.
Yeah. It hit me in my heart.
And then he kind of pushes Xavier to probe his mind. And even though Xavier, for the rest of the show, has always just been like, yeah, I'll just read your mind. This time he's like, no, even though everything is on the line, I'm not going to read this bad guy's mind without his permission.
This is where you draw the line, you bald fuck. Oh,
yeah.
Seeing the connection between the abductions and Apocalypse, backed up by Archangel's own research during his hunt, everyone decides to go back when Apocalypse first built his Lazarus chamber and destroy it. Go back, kill baby Hitler. That's what we're going to do.
The plan is to kill baby Hitler.
Yeah, we're going to go back, we're going to kill baby Hitler, and everything's going to be fine. Pyramid proves to be more guarded than they thought. Crazy. Wow, this immortal being is going to have a little bit of security. The Horsemen of the Apocalypse are waiting for them. Normal people. Normal people on horses. Just real cool guys. Fighting their way past, the X-Men reach the central chamber only for Wolverine to smell something off. He's like, damn, something stinks. And Apocalypse is like, rude. I'm 150,000 years old. I don't have access to a shower.
No, it's actually Mystique is pretending to be Apocalypse.
Dang.
Because this was, again, a trap. Apocalypse is just laying trap after trap after trap for them. And I think he has the benefit of time travel to be laying all of these traps. Like, he can figure out what they're going to do and then lay a trap again. So this might not be the first time that they're actually doing these things. He just always has a way out every time. So I think it's pretty cool.
Mystique is waiting for them. In a bright light, the X-Men are knocked out. Cable catches up to find that Professor X and Wolverine are missing, and in the Axis, Apocalypse triumphs, as he has now completed his most important goal, the most powerful telepath on Earth!
He finds the final piece in his Jenga set.
Yeah.
He's got Xavier, boom. He has what he was. That's the whole episode.
Jenga's when you pull things out, though.
Oh, maybe I used the wrong references.
I was just trying to clarify. I was like, I don't know if...
It's the final line is erector shit. It's the final line.
Connect 4. I sunk your battleship, and I got Connect 4.
He's got 3 X's in a row now.
Tic-tac-toe.
He's one tic-tac-toe. How would you rate part 3, Ben?
Probably like pretty solid 9. It was, had everything you needed. All the stories are culminating nicely. Good cliffhanger.
Okay, what do you think?
I'm gonna go right on board with you and say 9 because for those reasons actually.
I like part 3. It's a lot of fun. I think I give it an 8 just because it's kind of a lot of we're not getting any new information, but it is just fun adventure stuff. And Xavier finally getting caught is like a good payoff and everything. It's a good episode. The one before it was just so hype that I think it's a little bit lower shelf. Now let's get into part 4. Let's finish this up. Let's talk about what was happening at the time. It aired November 25th, 1995 by Dean Stefan, who also wrote some other good stuff later. And the new #1 song is
Shoop, Waiting to Exhale, Whitney Houston, my queen, my diva, my love of my life.
Yeah. Also, we have a really, really big #1 movie on the heels of GoldenEye is Toy Story, changing the whole film industry forever.
You got a friend.
And really one of the best franchises. Like, they only make a new Toy Story when they have a great idea, and they just always happen to come up with new good ideas. I'm really excited for Toy Story 5 and myself.
Absolutely.
Even though I thought, they can't make anything after Toy Story 3, but then
surely they can't make more.
Also debuting modestly successful movies, we had Casino, Scorsese, and Money Train, Wesley and Woody's Christmas movie.
Did we just watch that?
We did just
watch that. Jennifer Lopez.
Fun movie, yeah.
I liked it. It can't.
It's no White Man Can't Jump, but it's still a good movie. It's fun. Character-based stuff.
Mm-hmm. We actually watched the funniest Jennifer Lopez movie recently. It was The Boy Next Door. Have you seen that one?
Oh my God.
There's a scene where she's got this boy next door. He's like a late teenager, kind of has a crush on her. Stuff escalates. And at one point he brings her a signed copy of the Iliad.
Right, I
A
remember.
First edition
first
signed.
edition signed copy of the Iliad, which is just like the funniest fucking joke. It's so good.
Jennifer Lopez delivers that with the utmost sincerity, and that's why I believe she's one of our best.
She's
Because
incredible.
she did not even flinch when she said those words. Oh,
Yeah.
you got me a signed first edition of the Odyssey. Girl. No, he didn't. No, the fuck he didn't.
That's like Homer Simpson's signature. What are you doing?
Oh God, we gotta keep going.
Yes. Let's start with the beginning of part 4. Ben, why don't you relate that to us? What happened?
Right. So we're back in ancient Egypt in the Lazarus Chamber of Apocalypse. The X-Men wake up without the Professor or Wolverine, who leapt through a time portal after Mystique and Apocalypse captured Charles, only to be captured himself. Gable figures he can stick it to Apocalypse a little, and does what he traveled to the past to do: reduce Apocalypse's chamber to rubble. So then, like, they have this like crazy battle, but obviously, Apocalypse knows what's coming, right? So in the Axis, Apocalypse watches and sneers as he exits out of time. He doesn't need it anyway. Good start.
Yeah.
And then back at the X Mansion, it's revealed they had a temporal tracker on the Professor. They put an air tag on him,
Yep.
allowing him to work out where their enemies took him. Gray Malkin's computer determines Charles is now outside of time, but before anyone else can do anything, Cable goes after his nemesis. Typical Cable. Like, all he cares about is his son and his mission, and he doesn't see the bigger picture.
Realized that Cyclops and Jean were his parents. The dumb motherfuckers for never figuring this out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I figured they hadn't done that reveal when they broke the whole 3-season story arc here.
Mm-hmm.
Never factored in the 92 story. Anyway.
Now Apocalypse has the last psychic he needs to begin his true plan, the King, Xavier. And fed up, Magneto asks him to explain just what the plan is. He explains that time is thought, and motion and thought are unity. This is the reason some psychics can even see the future. Gathering the universe's most powerful psychics in the asses of time, he plans to destroy them. Theoretically, the psychic energy this will release would be enough to stop the asses and stop time itself. This will destroy the universe and allow him to remake it in his own image.
It's a very common theme in Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna destroy a bunch of shit and make it how I want.
Yeah, it's the Thanos.
It's
plan.
the Thanos. It's the snap.
Actually, Thanos didn't want to remake it. He just wanted to like let the world play out as it would.
Yeah.
Apocalypse is more of, I guess, a Dr. Doom style villain of remaking the world. Reed Richards is also, when he went evil, tried to remake the world in his own image. But it's some good bad guy stuff. I think the stakes become really, really high when we learn this. Like, yeah. So far so good.
Yeah.
Magneto, of course, is appalled by this. He only signed up to make a world where mutants ruled, but Apocalypse just chides him for being foolishly trusting and orders his horseman Death to kill Magneto. Makes sense, right? I mean, if you're going to pick one of the horsemen, you got to go with Death every time. Instead, they attack Apocalypse, since it's Mystique, secretly in league with Magneto. They fight, knocking Apocalypse through a wall and into the bottomless nothing surrounding the asses. The other horsemen, Mr. Sinister and his sewer boys, unfortunately still serve Apocalypse. Excellent sewer boys reference, by the way.
Oh my God. Like, that just like unlocks something in my head where I'm like, is that? Oh no.
If you don't know what we're talking about, just Google sewer boys. It's fine. Unless you're under 18, in which case don't.
Yeah.
I just want to break in here.
Yeah.
And just mention this whole Magneto is appalled. Ah la la. Yeah, I bet you never thought the leopards were gonna eat your face, did you, motherfucker?
But he planned for it. He had Mystique ready. Like, I think he'd figured out somewhere along the way that this plan was not going to be that good, and so he had Mystique ready to help him betray Apocalypse in case
I guess
his plan turned out to be like this.
Just the beginning of this part, watching Magneto be like all horrified, like, sir, I don't think that you can stand on this one. You helped. But then
But then he shows that the character development that he's had over time is real,
he
and just
said,
like it
he
was
said,
in
I need to
in
go
the
stay with my
80s until
husband.
they like reprogrammed him and made him a villain again in the early 90s so they could sell more comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Marvel always needs the villain to be a former friend to the point that the current nemesis in the comic books is actually Beast. Beast is the main bad guy, Cyclops is the main good guy, and their former friendship is like the basis of a lot of that. But don't worry, they cloned the Beast at a point when he wasn't a bad guy, so there's still the good Beast around.
Hmm.
The key is buy DC comic books, folks.
What the
Ah.
fuck, man?
Image comic books. A lot of really good shit coming over me.
All right.
So the other horsemen, Mr. Sinister and the boys, etc., they still serve Apocalypse. So with the psychics ready, the energy is released, and across time, people and places vanish out of existence. So we've got some Back to the Future, I guess, physics going on here.
Yeah.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
Exactly. Outside the asses, the pathways of time fade as Bishop tries outrunning them. He's confronted by Bender again.
That's the guy's name, Bender.
Bender.
Fight my shiny metal ass, right? And reaches his breaking point with the world's beings, weird being strange comments opening fire. A stray shot manages to hit Psylocke's tube, sending strange, oh, sending strange comments crashing down, sending it crashing down to his Rainbow Road. And I hate getting shot in the tube. It's the worst. Um, so they disrupt Apocalypse's scheme. She instructs Bishop to free the others, and he starts a blasting. One by one, psychics are freed from the glass prisons.
So
Hell
I
of a
started
name.
blasting.
Yeah.
Yep, literally. Danny DeVito would have been great in there. I also thought earlier the Bender guy, that if they did a live action movie directed by, like, let's say Christopher Nolan, could be played by Sam Rockwell really, really well.
Yes. This is the perfect role for Sam Rockwell to play the kind of character I don't like to see Sam Rockwell play.
Yes, exactly. The annoying piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. He's too effectively annoying at
He's
that.
great at it, unfortunately.
For that White
I would
Lotus
want
speech.
Eric Andre to play Bender. I think that would be perfect.
Yeah, that would be good too. So Apocalypse and the Horsemen go to deal with Bishop, leaving Magneto, Mystique, and Wolverine against the Sewer Boys until they're joined by an extremely confused Cable.
I was always fucking confused.
So fucking confused.
What's fucking happening? I need to read a book. I need to learn how to read.
I don't know how to read. I just want my kids back.
I want my family back.
Give me back my family.
Give me back my family.
Yeah.
Particular.
Thomas Jane. Another excellent reference. Remember that one in Arrested Development? I just want my kids back.
Yeah. Thomas Jane is perfect in that. They shoot heroin, don't they? That's the movie he's researching.
Oh my fucking god.
So good. Hey, let's get back to the
let's go.
cartoon. You want to listen to us for the cartoon?
And the fight causes the asses of time to start flying apart, sending Sinister and the boys running. But even that isn't enough to slow Apocalypse down slightly. He'll just figure he'll kill them all, recapture the psychics, and destroy time all over again, and nothing can stop him. Nothing except the psychics themselves.
Don't have any problem.
They're in the
Nobody will
nexus of
object to
time.
anything we do. Nobody will have a problem with it. I'll just be able to build my ballroom.
Congressional approval is not for me. I don't really care for it.
We can't get congressional approval, so we're going to break down time and space and rebuild the ballroom from scratch. I'll still be the president, of course. That won't change.
Oh, never.
Never again. President for life. They're calling me president for life. I didn't ask for it.
Not gonna need to vote again. We took care of it.
You'll never need to vote again. You thought mail-in voting was a scam? Voting is a scam. You'll never have to do that again.
Why bother voting when you're just going to vote for me anyway? So without the Lazarus Chamber, their power is immensely greater than Apocalypse. With their powers combined, they force him out of the Nexus, and without his chamber, he simply ceases to exist. And with that, the psychics restore everyone to their proper time and place, leaving behind Bender, who simply remarks on the mess they've made and transforms into a very irritated Immortus, Lord of Time.
So this is a reference that would have made no fucking sense to anybody, right? Did you get what was happening? Nobody knew what was happening. I, as a kid in 1995, had no fucking idea what was happening. Do you want to know what's happening when Immortus shows up? Immortus is Kang the Conqueror. He's Kang at the point at which he decides to become a good guy and fix some of the errors that he's made with time. So ultimately, Kang's ultimate nemesis is his future self trying to fix himself. But interesting choices. I think it's cool that all the psychics together just have to like, oh, if we're just all here together, we have the power to undo reality. We have the power to undo this fuck. And that's all they do together. But yeah,
Couldn't have
that's
just done
cool.
that at the beginning,
And
but
that feels like a story beat that's earned.
yeah, oh yeah.
And it's like Apocalypse's own plan turning against him. It's the end of Apocalypse, but there will still be future Apocalypse because
The
Apocalypse.
whole age of it,
I
actually.
mean, well, like the last time we've seen present time Apocalypse was Obsession in the third season. He is still out and about in the present day, but we've also seen how Apocalypse from the future, from 4000 AD, eventually dies. So it's great because we kill the guy, but he's still around to use as a villain. It's just his past. I think this is a pretty snappy little conclusion to everything.
Yeah.
And I'll leave you the denouement to you.
In the modern day, Scott and Jean are reunited, and the professor and Magneto comment on what it was like to work together again. Magneto idly wondering that maybe one day they could do so again. Well, Beast asks Cable if he thinks anything will be different in his time with Apocalypse gone. For his part, Cable doesn't care. All he wants to do is go home to his son, and so he sets off to a hopefully apocalypse-free future a week before he left so he can catch up with his son.
Which makes me think that Tyler died and they kind of cut that out at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Well,
why?
even Scott was like, I'm so sorry about your son. Like, he's like treating it like he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that there was probably a scene in part 3 where he died and they were just like, let's nix that.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, after all, they never showed Morph dying, and because they didn't show it, they were able to bring him back. Because it turned out that Morph was actually the most popular character on the show when they polled kids.
And
of,
then
like,
they
who
made
was
him
up.
gay.
And then they brought him back. He's not gay yet. That's gonna happen. That's a spoiler that Morph is gonna be gay.
If you could just switch between a man's and a woman's body any time, what
It
sex
makes
would
so much
really
right. Like if
be?
there was ever a character made to be bisexual, it's a shape-changing character. It just makes sense.
It's
That's
honestly,
how it's
I've had that same kind of headcanon with Mystique my whole life. Like she's probably very bisexual because she can just do
Her
whatever.
long-term life partner is a woman, Destiny. We just
Yeah.
haven't seen that in media yet, but I feel like the MCU one will probably do that.
I
the
want
MCU
them to just melt some things.
Because of woke.
Get Aubrey Plaza back. Give me
Oh,
Aubrey
yeah.
Plaza's
Plaza as
character
Lady
is Death. She'll be around.
Lady Death. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he'll be on a horse.
there'll be plenty of. No, she won't be that Death. She'll be. That'll be.
She's Death's wife.
She's meant to be the actual Death, not like.
They're horsemen, not horsewomen.
Of
So
course. Woke.
because of woke.
So I give this episode a 9. I think it really wraps things up really, really well. It doesn't do it with a really strong emotional beat, but I do really, really like all of it. I love Magneto turning and being the good guy all along, even though he'd be helping. It's a banger.
He had a last minute change of heart, which we are going to see a lot of in the next couple months in our actual politicians, I think. I'm going to give it an 8.88. 8.89.
Oh,
8.89.
We just talked about
I
this.
know, and I don't know why I went there again. I was like trying so hard not to say 88 that I said it. No.
89. Hail something else.
Dukakis?
It'd be an I, but yeah.
Seaman Tawny Dark. I'm voting for Dukakis.
Just by their dad.
Why don't you go suck a fuck? How
Excellent.
exactly does one suck a fuck?
Hey, how about you, Ben? What do you give it?
Let's just say like 9.9. Just, it would have been a perfect ending to the series, and
Yeah.
it brought all the things together. It concluded nicely. Yeah.
We'll come back to this episode too, because there are further repercussions of what's happening here that won't be revealed. until X-Men 97. So I just want to drop the audience for the fans. Like, I know that there's stuff to talk about, but we're going to talk about it when we get there. But there is one little thing that has happened. The X-Men are not quite in the same position they thought they were, and you'll find that out in a couple weeks, man.
Yeah, feel free to guess in the comments or,
Oh,
make your opinions known.
da, 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 da.